This is Stronger Than My Father with Marcus Menace.
Welcome back. I appreciate you coming back and listening to another episode of Stronger Than My Father podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Menace. Many may ask, why did I create this podcast? I believe that kids growing up without a father is one of the biggest pandemics no one's talking about. I believe that fatherhood matters, and it's time to bring more awareness to fatherhood and to begin breaking the cycle of fatherlessness. If you believe it as well, I please consider supporting us. And this show is powered by your donation, your subscriptions, and give me a 5-star rating. And if you want to help, please go to stronginmyfather.org/donate. And your commitment, as little as $25 a month, can keep this show on the air. Let's get into this episode. But before I do, I got to thank my producer, Mr. Jim McCarthy at jmvos.com. If you're in need of a podcast producer, and if you're in need of someone to do some voiceover work for you, reach out to my good buddy, Jim McCarthy at jmvos.com. And last but not least, my baby boy, Marcus Jr., though he's my oldest, that's my baby boy, for helping Dad set all this stuff up. I really appreciate him, and my photographer, Matilda Watts Smith. So this is my Facebook Live. So all people who's listening on Strong in My Father Live, welcome. This is something I don't do a lot, is a live podcast, but this is, out of all the episodes, this is probably my most special one. This young man I've been knowing for a long time, ever since he was a freshman in high school, when his mother said, "Hey, can you spend some time with my boy Peter?" And it became like a father-son relationship. Spent with him throughout his high school, and just the photos I've seen on social media. Just happy to see him that he's still here, still moving on. And this is probably going to be one of my most emotional ones, because it's like my boy coming home. So I was so excited to see him. So I would like to welcome my guest, and he was the second young man that went through Stronger Than My Father program. I've interviewed Marquis, so if you want to go hear that episode, that's episode number 5. So welcome my guest, my boy, Mr. Peter Green. Welcome, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, how you feeling?
Feeling good, man. I feel great, man.
Well, we're going to dive into mentorship, fatherhood, and your journey. So now I want to guess your age, 25?
Yes, sir.
I get it right.
Right on the head. Right on the head.
25, man.
Yes, sir.
Golly. Been a long time. 10 years?
10 years.
Wow. 10 years.
Oh, 10 years.
Tell my audience a little bit about yourself before we go into our journey together. Tell my audience a little bit about Peter Green.
Well, Peter Green grew up in a fatherless home. I grew up in a home of 5 females. I was the only boy in the house at the time. Had my trials and tribulations, trying to navigate life without that father figure. Then eventually became a member of Stronger Than My Father. Learned a lot of tools and a lot of, great things to move on in life as now a father myself of a 6-year-old.
Congratulations.
So in that, man, it has carried me on with discipline, integrity, loyalty, honesty, trust, through my everyday walk. And Peter now today, as you see me as a freshman, I was chasing the football career. Chasing it real heavy.
Yeah.
Went through college, junior college, went back to college. And, in that, it taught me a lot of life skills.
Yeah.
You want to have the NFL dream and, but I found my niche. I am now a business owner. I have my own real estate company.
Congratulations.
And I specialize in multi-family units.
I like that.
Just because I want to create generational wealth.
I like that.
So in that, my everyday thrive is to, grow and succeed in my business and be the best father that I can be, that I didn't have. And, with your mentorship and guidance throughout it, I see, every day, it's a blessing to be a dad. Like it's never a dull moment. Yeah. Being a father, like is the best thing going. So yeah, man.
Well, let me ask you this. Man. Growing up, we said pre-recording that you met your father, unfortunately incarcerated, 8 years old. As a child, how did that affect you mentally when you go back and remember that day?
It affected me in a lot of ways, especially the environment that you had to go to just to reach him. You know what I mean? The check-in, the search, the door opening and slamming. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? The loud noises or whatever. And then also, once the visit is over, leaving and trying to figure out, oh, well, when's the next time am I going to be able to see him then?
Yeah.
And so it affected me in, tremendous ways, but, I just, am thankful for, my mother and my grandmother, and then even, my mother seeing, because she used to tell me all the time, there's a lot of things I can teach you, but I can't teach you how to be a man.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Just her having that willingness to say, like, okay, well, my son needs some guidance and he needs to, have a male figure. So, yeah, I'm just, real thankful for that. And, yeah, it had a big impact, but here's the thing. I reversed it. A lot of times, kids in these broken homes without a father, get into these situations and it's a repeating cycle. Yeah. And I call it an excuse after so long. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's somebody in your ear, there's somebody in your corner telling you, hey, don't do this. You need to do this. Yeah. At some point in time, you gotta, you know what I mean? Stop the repeating cycle. So with me not having a father, I made sure that whenever I was a father, I wasn't going to repeat that again. But also, I have to know his life is not my life. Yeah. And I got to be the best version of me every day. Yeah. In order to be a successful person in this society.
Well, that's a good, man. You said it nail on the head. That's why my cliche is the cycle ends with me. You got to end with somebody. Yeah. Yeah. And, but a lot of people ask me all the time, like, how the young men you've helped, and back in the past, how are they doing and are they successful in what they doing? And I'm glad you suggested me go live, because I don't do a lot of live.
Right.
But our journey started 10 years ago when you was a freshman at Hillwood
High School.
And I would come to your football games, buy your Gatorade, and
yes, sir,
be there. Tell my audience, what did you get out of me as being your mentor from freshman to senior year? What did you get out of me? Tell any stories that you could think of, except the one where we was arguing coming back from Ohio, which I still remember that story. Because I fussed at you all the time. Because when I was mentoring you, I didn't have my second. I think my second one wasn't even born yet, or he was
on the way.
Jordan. Yeah. Because you never met Jordan. Yeah. So wow. But what are some stories, impactful stories, you feel like I made an impression upon you on?
Man, just, you know what I mean? Just to give you your flowers, man, like I told you, it's amazing, your journey that I seen, from the start, man. Like, just seeing you being a full-time dad and, you know what I mean, starting this business and working at the same time. You know what I mean? I seen a lot of tired days. Yeah. But you still proceeded to, push on. Just the random, hey man, what you doing? I'm finna come pick you up and we finna go out to eat. Yeah. And you know what I mean? In that, I still seen you doing fatherhood, because I can't remember a time that NJ was never with us. NJ was always rolling with us. He was the road dog. And,
he thought you was his brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? And so, just you coming to my games, you know what I mean? And even when you, like you just talked about, man, it took me all the way to Ohio just so I can go to a camp. You know what I mean, that I really wanted to go to. And man, just, you know what I'm saying, hotel room, you know what I mean, and sitting there the whole day, you know what I mean, till we, you know what I'm saying, till I finished that combine. And just the everyday text, the everyday phone calls, man. Hey man, how you doing, man? What them grades looking like? You know what I'm saying? Are you know what I'm saying, doing what you're supposed to do? And one of my favorite, you know what I'm saying, moments with us was just the camp, man. Like, I still talk about that camp to this day. Just the whole experience of being out there, and the campfire. When we cooked our own food in the aluminum foil, man. Just the bonds that, you know what I'm saying, I made. I still talk to a couple of the guys that I went to the camp with to this day. I'm still in contact. We follow each other on Instagram, man. So built a lot of good relationships out there, man. And you don't realize you need those things until you get into them, and you be like, man, this was fun. You know what I mean? And you never forget those moments. But, you know, to the audience that listening and watching, man, Mr. Marcus, man, is one of a kind. Never seen it done in the matter that he has done it for the extended period of time. Most guys would have fell off the map, or been, you know what I mean, stopped doing what he was doing. But for him to be, like I said, a full-time dad to his own kids and trying to mentor others, that's a big load to carry. A lot of, you know what I'm saying, a lot of kids come from a lot of troubled homes, and those are things that you have to deal with and try to navigate through to break those type of cycles. And you know what I'm saying, you have to be a strong mind in order to do that. So I'm just, you know, real thankful for even being in that situation, man. And it's changed me and got me to where I am today.
Well, I appreciate that, and you ain't gonna make me start crying on this podcast. You can forget that. But I appreciate that. We've had a great journey together. On just watching you, I fussed at you many times, and I fussed because I was trying. The crazy part of my mentorship, I was really trying to be your dad. When I just need to be a mentor, because I take what I do so serious. Where I want to see you make it. I want to see you be the man you're going to be, because I knew eventually you were going to be a father, and you're going to take the things that you saw from me, because a lot of it is not really of my talking, it's you mentioned a whole lot of things that you saw me do, that you saw me do that. So now you at 25, young father, you know, what are some things that you feel like, I know you had me as a mentor, that you feel like you wish your dad could have done with you, that you're going to do better now?
Just the everyday, literally, man, from start to finish. You know what I mean? Being there when he wakes up. Good morning, Daddy. Good morning, son. Taking him to school, picking him up, taking him to practice. Going to the school play. Going to the bring your parent to lunch day. You know what I mean? Just the little simple things. Man, I will always cherish being a dad that, you know, I didn't get when I was younger. Certain questions that little boys is gonna ask their dad, and going to need that answer. You know what I mean? And you need to be able to give him the right answer. You know, because they get curious. You know what I mean? And
kids get curious.
They get curious, and they need the proper guidance. Especially nowadays in the generation that this is, man. It's
your generation is a whole lot different from me and your mom's, you know, with social media and
way different,
all of that. Now I don't know, because we haven't talked in some time. Do you have a relationship with your father, or it's still at a distance?
Man, so it's crazy. Just a couple of days ago, man. Just to make a long story short, I personally finally got a hold to his case. Like word for word, every page.
Yeah.
I got from his case. I found his case. And in that, I found a whole lot of things that rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And go against my beliefs.
Yeah.
And that's just something that, you know, I will, you know, forever not, you know what I'm saying, deal with. In that magnitude, he it was always a brushing or, you know, trying to, you know, bypass it when I would ask him, you know, well, why are you in here?
Yeah.
Oh, son, man, just stay in school, man. Don't do drugs, man. Stay away from all these girls. And that was it.
Yeah.
And I thank my mom for how she responded to me whenever I would ask her. When I was younger, she would just be like, son, just make sure, you know what I mean, you don't do, you know what I'm saying, what your dad did. And then as I got older, you know, in my teens, it was, I think that's a conversation you need to have with your father. Yeah. And left it at that. And, you know, I didn't get the ending piece of, you know, asking him, but I think, you know, timing is everything. And for me to find the case in the age that I am now, I don't think I would have received it how I would now. Yeah. So, in that, it's not so much as a relationship. It would always be respect. Yeah. Because he is my father. But my mom, she had got married to who I call my dad. His name is Steve. Yeah. Passed away 2 years ago. But I saw action. I saw him make my mom happy. Yeah. When I seen that smile on her face, when I seen that glow, that's when I was at ease. Okay. Right. And so I seen a whole different side, and I finally got, you know what I'm saying, the best of both. Right. Mom happy, and I'm getting fed the game and the knowledge, you know what I'm saying, at the same time. And that's who I had, you know what I'm saying, my close, you know what I'm saying, real like strong relationship. But as far as my biological father, like I said, I always would be respect. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's my dad. You know what I'm saying? I can't take that away. But we don't really have a like relationship. Yeah. We don't really have a like strong relationship.
But are you eventually going to I don't know if you can, I don't know if he's still incarcerated or not, but are you able to one day forgive your father from the things he's done?
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely, because you need closure. Okay. And I was just talking to my mom the other day after I told her, you know, I found this case. Yeah. And I'm like, so now I can go out here and fly out and go see him. Yeah. Because I need to close this chapter of my life. You know what I mean? Now that I know what's going on, now I can, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so, yeah, you have to. You have to forgive, because other than that, that person got control over you.
Yep. You're right.
They have control over you. And when they have control over you, again, things start turning into excuses. Then that cycle, you know what I mean? And it's only two ways, you know what I mean? We end up dead or in jail.
That's it.
And that's not happening. Yeah. I had to, you know what I'm saying? I had to break that cycle, man. I had to break that, you know what I'm saying? And change that. Yeah. And I knew I could. Yeah. You know what I mean? I seen what happens when all the other things you do. Yeah. I seen it. Yeah. Firsthand. Yeah. And that ain't what's up. That wasn't what I wanted to do in life, man. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to have an impact. I wanted to give back. Yeah. You know what I mean? I wanted to do mentorship. Yeah. And let these boys know, man, it's not necessary.
Well, you come in here and talk to my boys.
Yeah, so for sure.
You come in. Let me ask you this. Why are a lot of young men that's in that high school, middle school age, you know, social media is powerful. Everybody want to be the little this and little this rapper. I want to do this, smoke, do drugs, stuff like that. Do you think those kids are looking for something because they don't have a male figure in their life? What are they looking for? And why do you think a lot of kids are going into crime and doing bad stuff instead of doing positive things as a young man? Why do you think that?
It's a lot of followers.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot of non-leaders.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of easily influenced young males.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Either good or bad.
Yeah.
So in that, social media has taken over, the whole world. And a lot of things are being exposed that, wasn't back then.
Yeah.
And in that, you just, with me, I can give an example, like as far as my son.
Yeah.
He has a tablet and he's not allowed on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
He has kids YouTube and I have parental control over it so that I can see, just because I know what's out there, right? And it's not a lot of hands-on connections, whether that's because the father is not in the home or, he's in and out. So they get their guidance, they get their information from the media. This is how these kids grow up. Yeah. This is how they talk. This is how they know how to do everything they do. It's because of the social media. It's on there. So they're being raised by social media, literally.
And you think that's because the father's not in there guiding their kids?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. It's especially the the young males that, has, maybe joined a gang or, in and out of jail, armed robberies and carjackings and all the other things, man. It's a broken home. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it starts with the father, man. Like, that's one of the best things that a kid could have, especially a boy. Yeah. That's one of the greatest things they could have to, be successful in life, is their father. And it's missing. It's missing. And so that is why, that's the reason why this is happening now, because of the social media is raising us.
Let me ask you this, and you gave some great points. Some of your friends that graduated high school, what are they doing now? Do you see some of these males doing positive things? You see some doing more negative things? What is what you're seeing now at 25 now, been out of high school for some time? What are you seeing between that 18 and 25 year old, that gap now?
Both.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. Both because I've seen multiple murders, multiple close friends that I went to. I tell people all the time, I don't even have emotions when I go to funerals no more. I'm just so numb from them. You know what I mean? And multiple cats that I went to school with that are locked up, that are doing the 20, 30-year bid, and they went in there at 21 or 22. But I see it. But what I surround myself around is the guys that I went to school with and are successful. Yeah. Either business owners, fathers themselves, and are just successful adults in the, in society, man. So yeah, I've seen both between 18 to 25 now. More on the side of the dying and being in jail, but what I surround myself around is my successful friends, the ones that I know we can learn from each other. Yeah. We can grow, we can hit off ideas and, be successful.
Well, I want to get into, first of all, I appreciate you telling me that. Now I want to get into you becoming a father, because you never told me that. All right. I'd have hit you right now for that. I should have been the first person you called, and I wouldn't have been disappointed if you said, hey, I'm 19 with a kid. because I wasn't the perfect person.
Right.
I wasn't perfect. Yeah. I wasn't perfect before I got married. And so I don't look down on nobody. So you should have called me. But I will say, all right, 6-year-old, how do you feel now as a young dad, raising your son? Is he Peter Jr.?
No.
You didn't even do Junior. So you didn't call me on it. I'd have told you to do that. Not like MJ. Okay. Your son, what are you doing now as a father that, you know, anything you saw from me as a dad, are you using anything I taught you, or what are you learning these fatherhood skills now? Because it's a skill to be a dad.
Yeah.
It ain't easy. It's a skill. So what are you doing?
You a superhero.
I appreciate that. What have you maybe saw from me or from other people in your lives to help you become the father you are now?
So, man, just going back.
Okay.
I was in junior college.
Yeah.
When I found out I had a son.
Okay.
He was 2. And so immediately, you know, I left and, you know, got my DNA test and, you know what I'm saying, he was mine or whatever. Due to, you know, certain circumstances with the mom, I became a full-time single dad, so I have full custody of him. Dog, I was 19 years old. Like, young. I was scared.
Yeah.
My heart dropped instantly.
So
like,
call me.
I didn't like.
My bad.
Listen, man. Yeah. I was so lost, man. Like, I'm like, cause you wanna, you know, growing up, you be like, man, you know, I want to make sure I got all the money in the world. I want to be.
Yeah.
But like I tell people now, man, you will never be fully prepared.
Wow. Yep. You'll never be fully prepared.
You will never be. There's no such thing as being fully prepared.
Yeah.
For a father, you know what I'm saying, to be a father.
Yeah.
Whether you got all the money in the world, it ain't about the bread.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm to this day. I wake up and I look at him. I'm still in shock to this day. I'm like, I can't believe I'm somebody's dad. Like, somebody's waking up and depending on me so they can eat.
Yeah.
Their next move, they want me to, you know what I'm saying, tell, you know what I'm saying? So, going back on your question, man, I just learned to have patience.
Okay.
You gotta have patience. I'm not one of them that's a dictator. Yeah. Because I myself was still a teenager. Yeah. Growing up myself. So I took that as me and him learning together. Yeah. That's it. And kids are like a sponge. Yep. They soak up everything. Exactly. And I didn't realize that until we be sitting in the car. I'm driving and he'll literally, however I'm sitting, positioning, he's going to sit. If I turn my head or rub my face, he going to do the exact same thing. And it was crazy. And I just sat over there and watched him do it. But, yeah, man, I learned to have patience, especially from you, man. Anytime we was out and, you know what I mean, we'd be at the restaurant or whatever, and MJ, you know, he was young, man, so he had a lot of energy. But, you know what I mean, you being a dad at the same time giving me knowledge, MJ, sit down. Son, this is what you need to do. You need to stay in school. You know what I mean? So I learned the powerful piece of, you know what I'm saying, having patience and just, man, giving your son, you know what I'm saying, the honest truth. Yeah. And teaching them, you know what I'm saying, the everyday steps in life. And I enjoy that, man. I enjoy you know, my son asking, Daddy, can I have some of that cologne that you had on? It smelled good. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, just him being able to tell me what type of foods he like. Yeah. Or, Daddy, can we go out to this restaurant? Or I like, you know what I'm saying? So I enjoy all those things and just being able to have the knowledge that, you know, I learned from you.
Well, I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? Be a good dad. Man.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I never, you know what? The thing, I did not never know you was watching me in dad mode. Yeah, I never thought, I would never think that you watching me being a dad, because MJ was, gosh, he was 10 years ago. MJ was what, 6 years old. So yeah, Jordan wasn't even thought of. So yeah, but he watched you.
Yeah.
And so I asked him last night, I said, you remember Peter? And he didn't remember you. And I said, because he was so young, bringing him to your football games and watching, your mama holler, he holler.
Yeah.
I remember that. And I think I would say one of my most best stories with you, when I fussed at you because you got your tattoos, and I was so mad.
Man.
We was at Chili's, and I was so mad.
Man, I
fussed because at the time, here's the reason why I say why.
Yeah.
I'm trying to treat you, I'm mentoring you like my dad trained me.
Right.
So my dad said, you better not get tatted up. So I'm telling Peter, who's in high school, you better not do that. You know, so you and Marquise was like the first two.
Yeah.
And he's doing well. He's in Houston doing well. But y'all two were like the closest to me.
Yeah. And
so when we was apart, you know, you had your late stepfather with you. I felt then, all right, Pete should be good.
Right.
And we didn't talk for a long time, but I always, them Facebook pictures pop up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I miss my boy Peter, and I hope he's doing all right. And when you sent me that message on Facebook, I just sat back. I saw it, and I was like, that's Peter. And all my emotions run through me. And I said, all right, we need to talk. And I saw pictures on social media, but I didn't know that it was your kid or not. And you see stuff, and I moved to the next thing.
Right.
But for you to call me and say, hey, I want to come on live on your show, because I've been asked by many people, how are some of the kids you're doing who you mentored in the past? And I'm glad we're doing this live, so whoever can watch it can see that you're a young man that's still discovering yourself.
Right.
At 25, and you're still discovering yourself, but you're a young father now. So now you're taking the things that you saw me do, and I believe you still follow me on social media. You're still watching me work with more young men. I thought I could be done. I thought I could retire from this until he maybe start the mentorship back in 2022, and I enjoy it. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy spending time with these kids. But I understand for you, as we wrap this up, it's still an ongoing process for you, because you still going to be asking yourself questions about my father. That's going to always be in your head.
Right.
But now you have a chance to, like you said earlier, break the cycle with your son. So it's up to you. It's up to you about what you do around him, what he sees around you, because he's going to 9 out of 10 follow your move.
Yeah.
But I never knew that while we was doing mentorship, you was watching what I was doing. Why did I bring MJ to everything I was doing? Because I never wanted MJ to ever say you cared about other things, you didn't care nothing about me.
Right. Absolutely, man.
And he, thank God we got Jordan, but he was looking for that friend.
Yeah.
He was looking for that older brother. And he saw that out of you, and he saw that out of Marquise.
Yeah.
And so he would always say, Daddy, we're going to go get Peter today. Mm-hmm. He would always say that when we would go pick each other up. So as we wrap up, any advice you would tell dads out here that are young dads, even older dads like me, what advice would you give for, to help them become better fathers? And tell them why being absent, the effects. Tell them they need to be in their kids' life, but when they're out of their kids' life, tell them the effects of these children that you feel like these children are going through.
Spend time with your son.
Yeah.
And when I say spend time with your son, it don't matter if he done asked you to sit down and watch him play this game on the tablet.
Mm-hmm.
Just the mere fact that he wants you to sit down, please do it. Because in that same essence, you telling him no, he can get on YouTube and start being raised. You know what I mean? And you're in the very next room. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, literally, man, spend that time with your son. It doesn't matter what y'all doing. Check in on him. Ask him, son, what's going on? Everything good at school? You know what I'm saying? I see you've been having good days, but are you having good days? What's going on through your mind? Like, build that relationship, build that rapport, so when certain things happen or he has questions, you are the first source that he goes to. He doesn't go seeking it from anyone else. You know what I mean? Please spend time with your kid. You know what I mean? Especially the boy. You know what I mean? If you have a son, please spend time with your son. And to go back on what you were saying earlier, man, that's a lot of what especially my generation and the generation after me does. We're visionarians, right? So we have to see it in order for us. You know what I mean? You can do this all day. You can tell us, you know what I'm saying, this, and the third, but I saw you in dad mode. You know what I mean? Like, through it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the very main focus of what I was looking at. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was getting mentored, but I was being mentored in action. You know what I'm saying? The unseen that you didn't even know. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, coming to pick me up in your work uniform and you got MJ. Or you picking me up and we going to go meet your wife so we could pick up MJ. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying, your level of respect that you have for your wife, the communication that I heard through that, man, I'm going to be ready when I get married. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it's a blessing. It's amazing to just have cross. I don't even know how you and my mama met or know each other.
We're high school classmates.
Okay, high school
classmate. Yeah.
And so I just, you know what I'm saying, thankful for even that situation. Y'all being enrolled into the same high school. And years later, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got an impact on her son, man. And yeah, man, I'm forever grateful. Like, well, I talk about you to this day. Like, everybody know. I talk about you to this day. Like, so.
Well, first thing I would tell you is that I appreciate that. And again, you ain't gonna get me all emotional on this, man, because I'm gonna get off the air. But I think that what I see, I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. Even through mistakes, you're always happy because you're still here. And where you're going with your life, I'm proud of you. I always tell kids in the program, don't disappoint me. Just keep working hard. But before you make a bad move, call me. Right. Before you think about doing this, man, because I do the same thing with I'm 47. I do the same thing with my dad. Before I make a certain move, I'll call him.
Yeah.
And you got that open invitation to say, hey, Mark, I'm a dad. What do you do? What do I do with this? What do I do with that? Because you're breaking a cycle now. You have the opportunity to break the cycle and be the man that you need to be. But when I look at you at 25 now, which I can't believe it, you still, in my mind, you still that kid that was
14.
Yeah, you still the
Freshman
kid to
year.
me. Yeah, you still that kid to me, and it's hard for me to generate that you're 25 now. So I will tell you, I'm proud of you. I'm so happy you reached out to me to say I want to come on the podcast. And I'm thankful for this opportunity. So I know we got to let it go, but any final words that you want to tell my audience on social media, and tell them in your heart, do you believe that mentorship works as we close out?
Yes, mentorship does work with the right person. And listen to me carefully when I say this. Be careful who you allow your son to get mentored by. It's a lot of unjust, untrustworthy people out here that do it for the wrong reasons. I don't have to get into too much detail, but make sure that you do find the right mentorship, i.e. Stronger Than My Father, because Stronger Than My Father is not only the best there is, it's the truth. It's genuine, and you get a lot out of it. And your son walks away with a lot of discipline, tools to move on in life and be successful. And so mentorship does work. Don't go put your son on the medication and you know what I mean? Don't do none of that, man. Get him in the right face. The right mentor will change your son's life. I promise you he will. I'm a living witness.
Well, I appreciate you telling my guests. I've been at this for 21 years, man.
Long time, man.
Dude.
I remember the office was the house, man. So this, man, you've been at it for a long time, man.
I cannot believe this, but I am proud that you come back. I look forward to putting you around my boys, giving them that knowledge. Tell them how Mark used to fuss, but I fussed because I loved you. Even when we came back from Ohio that day, and I almost had a wreck because we was fussing all the way back, me and you. But it was genuine love, especially when we went on that Ohio trip. I'll never forget that as well. And you're the only one I've taken someone that far to camp. I ain't never done that again.
Yeah. and we did the MTSU camp.
Yeah,
a couple
MTSU
of years,
camp.
back to back. Yeah.
But rooting on you. And I really was hoping you'd be the next Jalen Ramsey. I thought this was going to be, because we had that in our plan. But like I said, I'm still proud of you. You're still dressing nice, so I still see you got that style. But thanks for coming on, Peter. We definitely gonna do this again. I look forward to having you come back on when I do some old guests with other kids. I may bring you and Marquise back on together.
Yeah, yes, and sir.
Y'all two can talk. But definitely. I wanted my audience to hear. Jen, we still on Facebook Live. I wanted you guys to hear from one of the young men that I spend a lot of time with. I that's my boy. I love this dude, man. I love this dude to death, man. And so when you called me back, and that was like, I couldn't sleep last night. Couldn't wait to see you,
man. Me either, man.
I couldn't.
I had my clothes ready last night, man. It was already ironed and ready, man. I couldn't wait. It was like first day of school.
I got to see my boy, man. So thank you again, and thank you so much for listening to another episode of Stronger My Father podcast. This was a special one. So thank you to those who listen on Facebook Live. Listen to Strong. Continue to follow Stronger My Father on all our social media platforms. And we do have an Instagram that has Stronger My Father podcast. So like that page as well. Also, if you like what you hear, please leave a donation of $25 or more so I can keep recording podcasts and keep spreading the word on fatherhood. So thank you guys so much. Thank you to my producer, Jim McCarthy at jmvos.com. jmvos.com. I'm going to say it slower, Jim. If you're needing a podcast producer, or if you need someone to do some voiceover work, reach out to the best in the business, Jim McCarthy. God bless you. See you another episode of Strong in My Father. Have a great day.